Hey, you.
Hey,
Hey, you.
it might not look like it, but I'm traveling now.
Oh, no, he's one of those sovereign citizen weirdos. I'm not swimming. I'm just traveling. Sir, you're not allowed to swim here. I'm not swimming. I'm traveling. You don't even know what swimling is. Here on the D-pad, where I'm Rick.
And he's Ricardo.
Yeah.
And I'm Peter.
It's Pokémon Brilliant Diamond. Oh my god. Yeah, there's a certain level of catharsis for me in watching videos of sovereign citizen people attempting the same ass argument over and over again to cops who are not fucking buying it. Like, don't get me wrong, fuck the police, but also sovereign citizen people are fucking weirdos. And like every time they go for that shit, it's just kind of, I cringe so hard watching it.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I'm just happy to watch two people I don't like getting into it with each other now, so that's fine.
So Delmar can't learn an ice move.
Ah, damn it. Fuck, not even like an Aurora Beam kind of deal?
Nope.
Bummer. All right, well,
wait.
Whoop.
It has an egg move.
So
yours
yeah,
can't learn
mine
an ice
won't,
move.
Yeah. Oh, God.
It can inherit Ice Punch.
Which is not... Oh, that's a weird one for it. That wouldn't even be all that good for him anyway.
No. Because of its physical nature.
Yeah. For anybody who doesn't know what the sovereign citizen movement is, it's the harebrained idea of like, no, but I'm not subject to the laws of the U.S. because I am my own person, and I've declared that I use my own laws, essentially.
I have declared that I have my own laws.
Yep.
Okay, well, you're here.
Yep,
you're in the U.S.
Yep, you're physically here, so none of that matters. But also, like, it ties in a little bit with... There's a name for it. Like, it's one of those things where, like, it's conspiracy theories that all link up with each other. Sometimes those people are flat earthers. Other times they are... God, there's a name for it, and I want to call it, like, American Corporation or something. And the premise, as presented, is that at some point in some year in the 1800s, the United States was incorporated.
Oh.
Literally, like it became a company, not a country. And you can tell because suddenly a lot of American flags had gold fringe. And that's the sign of the company of the United States, and therefore we don't have to obey any of that. And it's
okay.
Oh, so you haven't been to therapy in a while. Got it. All right. Like, and there are people who are vehemently into that, and it's like,
sure.
Cool, man. Cool.
Okay, but the evidence of our eyes and of the laws shows that we're not incorporated and separated from incorporation and corporations.
It's a secret incorporation. You know those incorporations where you're not legally allowed to know that it exists, but it makes decisions for you? Like those types.
That definitely falls in line with public meeting law.
Yeah.
And,
or even just FOIA requests.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just the most basic shit imaginable.
Here's the thing. If you have a corporation in the state of Massachusetts, it's registered with the Secretary of State.
Yeah. Yep. You have to.
Full stop.
Yeah. They have all the info. It's actually
It's also registered with the federal government.
I was going to say, it's honestly kind of frustrating in Massachusetts because you have to give more information and have it be relatively public than you might be comfortable with running a company.
Yes.
It's not the best feeling in the world.
The physical address has to be...
a place. It can't be a mailbox.
Yep. And registered with the state.
Yep.
Which is part of public record.
Yep.
Yep.
Not a fan of that. But also, like, I don't have a lot of choice. I'm sure it's part of the reason that some folks do Rhode Island-based companies.
Yeah, there are some states where people will have
God, he's drowning.
Their address of record be a P.O. box in that state just because they can.
Rhode Island allows for it. It's one of the more popular loopholes. Rhode Island's also got different stuff to do with, like, corporate tax and all of that factor in as well.
Yep. But Massachusetts gets very cranky at companies that do that and then operate out of the state entirely.
I'm sure that there's some like interstate tariff style stuff that they levy against you where they're like, well, apparently you're based out of Rhode Island, so you owe us another 3% on top of that or whatever. Which is like, yeah, fair enough, I guess.
There's probably an interstate tariff or something, but I don't know.
Oh,
I'm not incorporated. My only business entity is a disregarded entity. I have a DBA.
Yep. No, that's fair.
It's just me. I have 2 social security numbers. One of them is a tax identification number, not a social security number.
I think I need to do similar. The D-pad has existed as an LLC. It's lapsed.
Yep.
Just because, like, I misunderstood how there's a fee that you pay. Massachusetts has one of the highest fees, unfortunately, for LLCs in the country.
Yes.
For annual payments or whatever.
Yeah, your annual filing fee.
I thought that essentially got wrapped up into the tax payment stuff, and it's not. It's a separate thing.
Yep.
I didn't know that. And fair dues to the state, they were like, oh, well, then I guess you're just not that anymore. It's like, oh, fair enough. Okay. So I need to work on getting that, like, re-established and all that stuff, but I may just do it as a DBA, because it used to be that I was oh, God, there was a specific type for it. I was the owner. I didn't even see who was coming out. Oh, I did Volt Switch. That's why someone else has to come out. Delmar. You got Grass Move. I was the owner, and we had...
and you get an opportunity to change again.
Oh, yeah. For Seaking... Yeah, Seaking's not very heavy. Lucky's the smart call. Yeah, we had on paper 4 managers. It was me, John, CJ, and Ben.
Yep.
This was back in, like, 2017, 18, maybe 16, something like that. Now that's a lot less relevant. Like, one of the 4 people that are there, you know, like, the 3 of them combined, aren't even, like, in the top 3 of people who are here for recordings and things anyway. And it's mostly just kind of me running the show at this point, so it probably makes more sense to just be sole ownership LLC. I mean, it was already sole ownership, but, like, not the 4-manager kind of situation. We had, like, a tiered thing. It probably just makes it simpler. If I can do it as a DBA, it'll make it even simpler than that.
Yeah, so LLC gives you the benefits of an extra degree of separation of liability.
Yes, yeah.
But I think your liability exposure is relatively low, except for the spots where it's absurdly high. If that makes sense.
No, I get... Yeah, it's all or nothing, kind of.
And even then, LLC members are less protected than corporate officers. So, like, if you incorporated and had a insurance policy for directors and officers,
oh yeah,
that would give you legal representation protections if someone decided to chase you outside of YouTube's content ID system.
Exactly, yeah. I'm kind of weighing Gyro Ball and Heavy Slam. They're both the more blank. Golem is very slow, but very heavy. But also the stuff we're going to be running up against is going to be fast and also heavy.
Yeah.
So I think, unfortunately, that Heavy Slam is going to have to not come with. Much as I like it, if I didn't have Gyro Ball, Heavy Slam would absolutely be in there.
Because they're both comparative stat.
And Golem is very slow and very heavy. But yeah, I don't think it's worth hanging on to that for this. I was thinking Elite Four, most of that shit's going to be real fucking huge.
Probably, yeah. I think the first guy probably has the lightest weight Pokemon.
Yeah.
And then most of the rest are going to be pretty heavy hitters.
Where am I at for PP right now? Do I need to make a trip back? Yeah, soon.
You got 1 Thunderbolt left. Are you almost done with this swim section?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. I want to get on the sandbar so I can look around a little bit. Oh boy, kind of looks like not really. Was there a swimmer over there too? Okay,
yep, there's a guy over there. 1, 2, 3.
I have 4 more trainers on screen already. Let's fly back, and we'll heal and we'll loop it again.
Oh, you
According
are
to the map,
very
we're very close. So like this should be the last one we need with trainers. I may need to come back one more. Then again, Lucky is probably not going to come out much in Victory Road.
Right.
So.
Not exactly the place for him to shine, as it were.
Not so much.
It's great to get the levels now while you're in the water.
Exactly, and then I can focus on like Pippa or Kimbo.
Yeah,
who are probably the best suited for stuff that's going on in there. Maybe George Dude, depending on what we see. But I'm honestly expecting Gravelers and Golems to be pretty common.
Yeah,
Gravelers, Golems, fighting types tend to be pretty common on Victory Road.
So would you like to know what Garchomp's level is, since you know that Garchomp is the cap Pokemon of this run?
I probably shouldn't. And especially if it's lower than I was kind of worried, then I'm already planning for the worst.
Yep.
I'm already planning for above the worst anyway.
Yep.
So, like, I think I'm going to stick with my original plan of, like, get my team as close to 70 as I can.
Yeah.
And then go in.
And I think that's a safe bet for how to survive.
My bet is the Elite Four starts around 61 and caps out around, like, 65, maybe even 66. And my bet would be that Cynthia, her team is between like 64 and like 68 or something like that. Is probably like my realistic guess for where this stuff winds up. And 70 is like just a little bit above where I feel like a little bit more security and, not so much that I'm like, well, I'm just going to come in here and just show them all up.
Right. No, but at level 70, you're probably less in danger of as many things being able to just one-shot you.
Yes, exactly. That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Unless they're at stab super effective and your weakness.
Yep. Which, granted, I'm really going to be doing my best to not put my Pokemon out in those situations anyway.
Right. I mean, the biggest thing to worry about is how intelligently they put together coverage moves for...
Yeah, that's always the big trick. Though, granted, coverage moves being off-type most of the time at least gives you a little bit of a benefit.
True.
The trick is George Dude being someone who is double weak to something needs to only come out when I'm certain that he can get his shit done and leave.
Right.
Because granted, he has Sturdy, which is like the only reason that he's still in there at this point is Sturdy.
Yeah.
I would not be keeping a Pokemon with such an obvious pair, two of them, of double weaknesses.
Yep.
If he did not have a safety net on that.
Yeah, the safety net being that so few things do double hit.
Yeah.
Or cause environmental damage.
Exactly.
Or, yeah.
Yep.
That's your danger with George Dude is being...
Yeah. Water and grass are two of the most common types in the... I think water is the most common type, and grass is like fourth or something. Jesus Christ. I'd put on repels, but I need the levels. Like...
Yep.
And they're easier... Again, they're easier now with Lucky than Lucky's not going to have a good opportunity soon to do any more of this. We're breathing perfectly in sync. I don't know how we know that, but it's what we're doing.
You know it. One of the many phrases that just means I will cheat for you.
Oh, game. Come on, man. So close. It's Hex.
He did a small amount of damage because he's not a ghost.
Yeah. And it's also, I think Hex does more damage if they've got a status condition.
I believe that is true.
So it's doubly not really doing as much as it could be. Ooh,
Hex is the one that just does like a very different thing.
No, that one's Curse.
Oh, Curse. Okay.
Curse is different. So Curse, I'm trying to remember what it does for non-ghost Pokemon. Oh god, I think it like reduces it like reduces one stat and raises two or something. I might be wrong on that one. For a ghost Pokemon, it takes out I think half of their hit points and raises all of their stats. I think it doesn't come up as much as you would anticipate, but like I want to say that's how that works. I could be wrong though. It used to be a question mark type move specifically because it acted differently depending on who used it. Yay!
Right.
It missed.
Its name is the move that its effect in the game. The description is a move that worked differently for the ghost type than for all other types.
It's like, oh, so you're not gonna have it. Honestly, if they were smart, they would have it be that when it's attached to a ghost Pokemon, the description reads one way, and when it's not, it reads a different way.
Yeah, that would be nice instead of it just not saying anything.
Yeah. Alrighty.
So
one of the benefits John has for going second here is that regardless of what my own decision would be like is on finding out level caps, John is entitled to that information by going second because at least the way we used to do it, he would be here to see that.
Right.
We kind of at this point, because it's harder for him to come out as often as is helpful to do it like this, essentially if he asks something that he would have just seen himself, then I just tell him.
Right.
Like, because it's at that point it's like now I'm just being willingly like I'm being willingly deceptive by not sharing the information that he would have seen otherwise. I'm not going to go out of my way to be like, all right, here's what's coming up. But if he asks, then yeah, I'll tell him what he's asking about. Sorry, you're about to say something and it's totally interrupted.
Oh, just Curse does +1 attack, +1 defense, -1 speed.
Okay, yep.
For non-ghosts.
For non-ghosts.
And if a ghost uses it, it cuts half of their own hit points.
Yep.
but then does a quarter of the target's hit point per turn.
Oh, that's right. It's super duper poison, basically.
Yeah. It's worse. It's not worse than Toxic, because Toxic is a doubling, but it's...
Well, Toxic isn't doubling. It's 1/16th plus 1/16th for every turn that it's been...
Oh, it only ticks up by that increment?
Yes.
Okay.
So it takes 6 turns from full with no additional damage to actually kill a Pokemon with Toxic.
Yeah, so Curse goes faster.
Yes, Curse
goes
goes
the same
faster.
amount of damage each time.
Yes, I think the Curse goes away if you put your Pokemon back.
Whereas Toxic resets down to 1/16th if they come back out.
Some games treat it differently than others. Older games, the Toxic stayed Toxic. No. Oh, fuck, I forget how it works now.
Older games, it just became poison?
In some games, it just became poison. Regular poison, which is then 1/8 damage per turn. And in other games, it stays Toxic but resets the counter back to 1/16th again.
Meaning glossy with a specular effect is distressing.
It seems weird. A normal bird should not be that glowy.
Yeah.
And it's also not sunny anymore.
And then he made it rainy, but it's still...
Yeah, the ocular diffusion is not doing what it oughta. Gastrodon. Ooh.
Loves me a Gastrodon. I've had a Gastrodon on my team in several games.
I forget if that's water ground or not.
I believe it is.
Yeah. That's the real one to watch out for Lucky, is those pesky water ground types.
I believe Shellos isn't, but Gastrodon is.
I think Shellos is just water.
Yeah.
Yeah, so your Marsh Stomps, your Gastrodons, your Quagsires. Those are the dudes that Lucky's got to watch out for the most.
Yeah, where they have that built-in coverage.
Okay. That was an unexpected one here.
He's a sailor.
I guess
Sailors
so.
have Machoke in their list kind of frequently.
All right.
It's like for, pulling on ropes and stuff.
I was going to say, some extra hands on deck. Good night. Boing, boing. I mean, I did kill a much higher level Machamp on John's team with the same move, so I would assume that was going to be a one-hit kill.
Makes sense. That's a thing that dates all the way back to, Red and Blue.
I guess that's true,
on
yeah.
the SSN.
That they would have some bulkier...
Is that Gold and Silver?
No, SSN was Red and Blue.
Yeah. Because you went on your cruise with your free ticket when you got it, and there were some sailors on there, and I think that was early enough in the game that they had, Machop.
It's Vermilion City, so yeah, Machop would be... That's the third city of the game. Or the third gym city of the game. You do get to Viridian City, but there's no gym leader yet.
Right.
But why don't we come back next time? We'll fight some more swimmy swims. You got at least 3 in our... Oh, shit. Okay, we're in. Bye.